Alright, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel Nwadei MMA, where I give you my thoughts, but more importantly ask for you guys' thoughts, because you guys are the MMA community. Today you're going to be watching the ultimate breakdown of UFC 304's main event, Leon Edwards versus Belal. Remember the name, Muhammad. And to preview this card a little bit, a lot of people, I feel like, are counting out Belal Muhammad. Now, he's on like a 10-fight unbeaten streak, 9-fight win streak, I believe. Most of those wins have been by decision, so it hasn't been the most exciting, but the dude's just been dominant. He's been dominant for the last, I don't know, say like 5-6 years or so. And the only question mark that he's had in those last 5 or 6 years is his first fight with Leon Edwards, which ended in an eye poke. A lot of people thought Leon Edwards was winning that fight. And so today we're going to take a look at not only that fight, but a few of their other fights in order to analyze both Leon Edwards and Belal Muhammad, see how this fight at UFC 304 might play out, and really do an in-depth film study on the X's and O's going into this fight. On the other side, we have Leon Edwards, who is really, man, one of the pound for pound best fighters on the planet. Beat Kamaru Usman twice, had one of the most shocking knockouts in UFC history. He's been on a 10-fight win streak, 11-fight unbeaten streak himself, and he's really staked his name at the top of the division and is one of the best welterweights of all time, really. And so we're going to be breaking down both of their styles, seeing how their styles play out against each other in this upcoming fight, and then at the end of the video we'll give our official prediction for UFC 304. Also on this card we have Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blaydes. That breakdown will be dropping soon as well for the co-main event. And before we get into this breakdown, if you guys are interested in my full card UFC 304 predictions, go ahead and check out the Will versus the Wade podcast. I'll leave a link in the description below. That is my podcast where me and my friend Terrence talk. He is the casual of MMA audience, so he gives you that perspective, while me, an MMA fighter myself and someone who's been in the game for a long while now, gives you my analysis on everything going on. So you have those two contrasting opinions. And then also in the episode before our UFC 304 predictions, we actually interviewed UFC fighter Terrence McKinney, gathering his new perspective on the fight game and his new mentality going into his next fight, which has not yet been announced. So if you guys want an uncensored perspective and a podcast to watch for MMA, go ahead and check that one out. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into the ultimate breakdown of Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad 2 at UFC 304. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support the content. Now let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so getting into the tail of the tape here for this fight. Leon Edwards is standing at 6'2", while Belal Muhammad is 5'11". Belal Muhammad is 36 years old, and talking about his age compared to Leon Edwards 32, Leon is in the prime of his career physically and mentally. Belal Muhammad's more in the mental prime of his career than I would say physical. He might be a little bit past that, and I don't know why this fight took so long to take place. I mean, really, if we think about it, it might have been the whole Colby Covington situation, how Colby really didn't deserve a title shot, but he got one anyways. And like I've been saying on this channel, maybe a match made in the courtroom with that whole Jorge Masvidal situation. Go ahead and check out my other videos on the channel to see what I'm really talking about with that. But yeah, so I think they almost kind of tried to wait Belal Muhammad out, since Leon only fights like once a year. Interesting strategy. Belal did wait. He was very active before that, fighting guys like Stephen Thompson and Gilbert Burns. We're going to watch that Stephen Thompson fight, by the way. But yeah, moving on. Leon's going to have a 2-inch reach advantage over Belal Muhammad at 74 inches to Belal's 72. Leon is a southpaw to Belal Muhammad's orthodox stance. And here's where it gets really interesting. Now, Belal Muhammad lands almost 5 significant strikes per minute. He lands 4.5 strikes per minute, while Leon only lands 2.75 significant strikes per minute. Now, I think that kind of shows the pace that each one of these fighters likes to carry, and so that is going to be interesting and is going to play a big factor in the breakdown today. As far as the accuracy, Leon's around 60%, while Belal is around 50. Leon averages about 1.2 takedowns per fight, while Belal averages 2. They both carry like a 35% accuracy for takedowns, and Leon attempts more submissions than Belal Muhammad. Now, their styles based off of that body breakdown, we all know Belal Muhammad is more of a wrestler than he is a striker. However, I will say that against Sean Brady, his striking looked damn good. We're going to take a look at that fight against Leon Edwards. The first time, his striking did not look bad. He had a lot more success than people were giving him credit for in that Leon Edwards fight based off of the way that it ended. Now, I'm not saying that his striking is better than Leon's. I'm not saying he's more crisp, more technical, or any of that nonsense, but he's not as much of a wrestler as you would say. He's more of a mixed martial artist, I would say. So he has good MMA striking, he has great MMA wrestling, and then he has good grappling as well. Now, as far as Leon Edwards is the total package. He has great striking, he has great grappling, his wrestling is also really good as well. I mean, he really is the total package. If I were to give Belal Muhammad maybe one edge over him, it would have to be in like the cardio and heart aspect, while Leon Edwards has, maybe if there has been a hole in his career, that's what it's been in. However, with his confidence coming off those two Kamaru Usman wins and that Colby Covington win, I don't know if that's still there, because the confidence kind of overrides that since he's overcome that adversity before, you know what I mean? However, let's not forget, Colby Covington did win that 5th round against him, so that might be a factor. Now, moving on into the film study and film breakdown of UFC 304 of this fight. Now, I'm not going to try and take too long, but I do like to go in depth, so take your time watching this video. You don't have to watch it all in one go, but I will be giving you guys an in-depth look at the X's and O's for this fight, and we're going to be looking at a few fights for each fighter. So first, we are going to be breaking down Leon Edwards, and we're going to be talking about first his fight against Kamaru Usman. Now, we're not going to watch the full fight, right? We're going to watch just the first couple of rounds, because I want you guys to see something. I want you guys to see the difference between the first fight and the second fight with Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. And then we're going to go ahead and go into his fight with Belal Muhammad and the way that that panned out. Okay, so bear with me, and I hope you guys enjoy. Now, starting off first with Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 2. This fight, Kamaru Usman was
Usman walked across the octagon, got right,
and you could kind of see already that Kamaru's coming forward, right? He's staying patient. It's still the beginning of the fight, right? But the differences I saw between the second and the third fight is that the third fight, Kamaru was a lot more hesitant and let Leon do a lot more of this, what you're seeing right now. Feint him, pick at him, and really damage his legs. That's what we're gonna kind of see. But let me just shut up and I'll let the footage talk. So you're seeing a very patient approach from both fighters. Leon already has been picking at him with a few kicks, but Kamaru is steadily trying to put on that pressure. Throws a jab, and look how fast he commits right away to that wrestling. Pressing him against the cage, immediately trying to grind him and take him down. Leon does a good job defending the takedown. That was great takedown defense from Leon early in this fight. Tries a trip into a front headlock, and then Kamaru gets on top. He just had a higher sense of awareness in that wrestling exchange and was able to get on top and eat some pretty good shots here. However, Leon's able to scissor sweep into a switch, get back to his feet, but look how Kamaru just is sticking to him. You're gonna see a big difference between this and what he does in the third fight. Going for that outside trip, Kamaru was, and then he does it again to try and get to the back. Leon's doing a good job of using the fence to stay up though, and fighting the hands. And mind you, in both of these fights, Leon actually wins the first round. And it's gonna be because of what we see right here. Leon's defending the takedown. Kamaru's still pressing him. Leon's able to get his hands locked in the double unders, and bang, takes him down with the outside trip. Beautiful, beautiful trip from Leon. His wrestling has been underrated. If you wanna talk about anything, right, in these past 7-8 fights from Leon Edwards, let's go ahead and look at this real quick. Leon Edwards has fought nothing but wrestlers. Check this out. Here we go. Starting from his fight with Kamaru Usman, right? So he fought Albert Tumanov, Vicente Luque, Brian Barberina. Those were 3 strikers. Peter Sabata mixed it up. Donald Cerrone, striker. However, he fought then Gunnar Nelson, grappler. Rafael dos Anjos, world-renowned grappler. Belal Muhammad, grappler. Nate Diaz, Kamaru Usman twice, grapplers, both of them, and then Kobe Covington. Bro, he's been fighting nothing but wrestler after grappler after grappler after wrestler. He kind of has that experience fighting against wrestlers, and Belal Muhammad is another wrestler, so that's another thing going into this fight that I think we all have to watch out for. But Leon does a good job controlling Mount. Kamaru ends up giving his back here. Leon does a good job using this gift wrap to take his back, putting in the body lock. They kind of stay here for the rest of the round. However, let's go ahead and move on to the second round. Immediately, Kamaru putting on the pressure. Again, Leon kicks him, and then Kamaru is immediately trying to close that distance. That was a good right hand by Kamaru. Leon tried to initiate that, but got the worst end of it. Every time Leon, but pay attention, every time Leon kicks him, Kamaru starts closing that gap. Again, let's look back at it. Leon kicks. Okay, let me start closing that distance again. Back on the jab, hook, 3-piece combination, angle out, 2-piece, right back to the double unders, trying to press him in this clinch. Again, we're not going to watch the whole fight. There's just a few things I wanted to pick out. Really grinding on him. And what this does is, man, it takes away the early pop that strikers have. Leon had a little trip, and then Kamaru just starts wailing on him. Body, head, giving him no space to breathe. Throws a kick himself, attacks the body immediately. And now his footwork's kind of gone. He's fatiguing a little bit. Okay, exits out a little bit. But this is kind of how you start seeing it play out round by round. He stops having all his exquisite footwork and he starts to slow down. Those were good kicks. As soon as he starts kicking, Kamaru's closing that range, feints a shot into a jab. There's a little eye poke. Damn, Leon always poking people's eyes. Oh, good low kick from Usman. Now, Leon is going orthodox right here. They're throwing things off a little bit. Throws that side kick to the knee of Usman, which is good on his part. I think he needs to do that against Belal Muhammad as well. Has that nice step in knee right there. Leon's also really good out of the clinch. Usman does land off the break though, and it starts backing him up with the jab. Now Leon goes back southpaw. Good left hand. But look how willing Kamaru Usman is to cross that void, cross that distance. Let's go back just a little bit. We're almost done with this fight, but look at this. He eats a knee, and he's immediately coming right back into it. Leon's throwing that knee for that close range distance in order to back him up and hold the pressure just a little bit, to get a little bit of breath, right? Throws that knee, throws that jab. Kamaru slips, gets on the inside, and once he's inside, he stays inside. Look at him, giving him no room. If he kicks right now, it could be caught. He could be pressed to the cage. That was a good left hook. Leon has a good check hook. They both exchange jabs. Kamaru's right back on him, giving him no room. Throws the overhand into the grappler. This is exhausting, man. This is exhausting. We're done watching this, right? Because we know what happens. It pretty much goes like this for the rest of the next 4 rounds. And then at the end of the 5th, he fucking knocks out Kamaru Usman. Crazy. Shocks the world, right? Now, the second fight. There's a difference here.
Your childhood growing up as a man, it is confirmed.
First round.
And you believe in yourself fully.
He's actually going orthodox right now.
But it's hard to stay the champ.
Meaning he wants to remove the difference between Leon going orthodox and going southpaw. Just for those of you who don't understand, he has way more access to the jab from the orthodox stance because they're mirror matching right here, right? Lead foot to lead foot. It's just your jab has way more effect and power from this stance. When he goes southpaw, it's the backside that has more access. It's the back, and you'll see what I mean. It's like the back body kick, the back high kick. That's how we knocked out Usman the second time. Both mirror matching each other, right? They're keeping the range very close. When they have that open stances, what we call it, when they go opposite stances, it creates more space, and generally that's where Leon has some of his best work because he's a natural southpaw. But
we saw a lot of guys
in this case,
that we don't normally see get fatigued.
because he wanted more access to that jab, back, and more access to the leg kicks, he wanted to mirror match.
The left hand connected there. Listen,
The way he entered both of those combinations, he threw a jab and then backed out immediately, right? He tried to commit to the jab hard, then backed out immediately.
Altitude, it's so hard
Wary
to
of
breathe.
anything coming back. He throws an overhand, kind of overcommits into a sprawl, almost like Aljamain did against Sean O'Malley, except Sean sniped him a little bit off balance.
Little left hand connected.
He's a
there.
little bit more
Listen, we
wary,
know
a
the
little bit
game
more
plans are
hesitant.
obvious. Kamaru's going to use the wrestling.
Yeah,
Like Kamaru saying, Leon
jab.
saying especially, you can't come back from a knockout like that.
where's
Listen,
those multiple
a man like
strike
Kamaru Usman can. However, it's there. It's in the back of your mind. You're giving Leon Edwards way
Now
more
Leon
respect
gave
on
up
the
first
feet
action.
because
This wasn't happening
you
in
can
the
come
first
back. But you also know that last time you got put to sleep.
Marvin's going to sell Paul trying to take away that big high kick of Leon. Leon basically had so much more success with the footwork, bro.
But he missed it on that one. Ultimately, that was the one that cost him. Tried
It's
to
not
really
pressed.
assert
Now we're
himself
halfway into
early.
play.
If he wants to really remind Leon Edwards that he's the better fighter.
Good right hand from Usman, follows it up with a jab there.
Tentative start. Exchanging
Thanks.
jabs. Nice.
He initiates the grappling. See how he's being more offensive and just acting first. This is what I meant by Kamaru. It's just a little bit more hesitant.
That's why you go and see them, because the toughest sport on the planet. And sometimes you get hurt, but you go to your doctor and you make it all better.
Kamaru with great pressure, measured though. Going backwards, but Leon has landed some really nice strikes early.
That's what I mean. He switches southpaw, he has that back leg
Leon has landed
available.
some really nice
Bang,
strikes.
blast it to the body. Again, Kamaru again, see, in the first fight, he was able to throw, see that hesitation right here. He hesitates stepping in with the jab. Tries to step in with the cross and three to the body, but he not hesitated right there. When Leon went high guard, Leon would have had to keep his hands up. He went to win back down, looking for that circle. He was that Thompson circle.
Usman is feeling that right now. He's well.
Real quick, going back to the first fight, if you want to see what I mean. Right here, he gets close and immediately starts attacking. He drives into the cage. He didn't do that not once in this second fight. Now, yes, Leon was using a little bit better footwork. He didn't get caught against the cage like that.
Looks like he's not bothered, but
It's only 2 or 3 times.
he's still being
And he would have been able to do it in this fight like that.
We got the
Could he not
defense
been so
first one. Not much has happened. He has landed the more telling strike.
That's right here.
He defends takedown once.
protest there.
He does that again. Herb's going to take a point.
And this is the thing, because I said to Leon, I said, obviously,
High hands. The legs are right there, right available.
that again, what's the ways you're going to set it up? Looks like that's the answer. He's going to go to the body.
And we just caught a replay, DC. That was a huge knee by him.
And a clean knee landed by Leon
Half
Edwards.
that is because of the hesitation. That was a good cross.
Shot so far for Usman.
Oh,
Just takes him down. And this is the danger, and it was almost
Just one career submission win for Usman and came all the way back in his UFC debut. So,
that pressure,
as
every
great as he is, not much of a submission offense.
As the first
be pressuring him. You saw how in the first fight, every time he was kicked, he started applying a lot more pressure. He just ate 3 kicks, 2 or 3 kicks.
Go. As great a wrestler as he is, not just one career submission win for Usman. It came all the way back in his UFC debut. So, as great a wrestler as he is, not much of a submission
Third
offense.
kick, yeah, he's not pressing that shit, just staying in the same range, right here. Almost trying to pressure, but he just can't find it.
that was
Overswings.
labored and a kind of lazy right.
landed a big right hand, got a takedown. That knee landed by
Like,
Leon
it's
Edwards.
just way more respect for the kicks. You see what I mean? That's the difference between the first and second fight. Now let's go ahead and watch the Belal Muhammad fight as well. And then we'll go ahead and get into the keys to victory for Leon Edwards. So this fight starts. Immediately, Leon is throwing feints, as he always does, as technical strikers do in today's MMA. A lot of back leg feints. Belal is very active with his lead leg though. He'll throw a teep, he'll just lift the knee and jump forward to get that forward pressure going. He'll also throw things like crescent kicks, which he does in this fight. But then now Leon's not feinting that back leg anymore. Now he's throwing it to really garner respect for it. It's very patient pressure though from Belal. That was a little bit of a wild entry from Belal Muhammad. This is why I think Leon could have a lot of success early against Belal. Because if you're looking back at this, let's go back to that. So he's winning the lead hand fight battle. He doesn't ever lose it, right? He's used to this southpaw stance right here. Belal overswings. That's Sean O'Malley's in that ring. He's going to bed, right? Leon Edwards, I've seen him tag people in this position all the time. Look how his feet are squared up. He's switching stances. His chin is over his feet right now. This is how people get knocked out. boom, it could happen. He doubled up that right hand, but still. One thing I will say about Belal Muhammad though, he has a chin and he has that willingness to come forward every fight. And we also seen he has good footwork against Vicente Luque. But early fight, I have to give that advantage to Leon Edwards. This is a close fight, guys. This is not a blowout by any means. Leon does a good job having a strong clinch right here. Tries to go for a double. Belal reverses it. And then exits with the elbow. That did some damage. Dirty fight. That was a clean elbow. Usually Leon's the one able to land those on people. Again, Belal is doing a good job of taking, not only using the jab and trying to take that inside space from Leon, but also step into the outside of Leon's leg. Trying to win that foot battle, set up that backhand. And now Leon's looking for that lead hook to try and get him back inside of that foot. Throwing that high kick. One thing I will say is Belal Muhammad did a lot of straight backward movement in this one. He wasn't moving back laterally. And that high kick was huge. Even though it was blocked, it still did damage. All those hooks though, missed. And you can see Leon take a deep breath right there after that exchange. He throws a huge head kick, a little stumble from Belal. He moves straight back into the cage. Miss, 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 miss. And then deep breath. And a pause in action from Leon. Got tagged by a jab from Belal. Belal was still about on his wits. It wasn't as big of a head kick as people thought. He lands that teep, then tries to initiate the grappling exchange. Actually loses that grappling exchange to Belal. It's funny because a lot of people thought that kick did a crazy amount of damage. It did wobble him, but look, Belal already has his wits back about him, and none of those follow-up shots really landed. If anything, since that head kick, Belal has been winning the fight. Belal disengages, still looking to gather his bearings, it seems like. Reset. Try to step off for that overhand. Throws a kick, and there's the first eye poke. Irvine warns him, and they get back to action. Now Belal's starting to try and put on this pressure. A patient pressure again, throws a high kick trying to cut him off. Leon's kicks though are so powerful that you have to respect them. That's a good jab from Belal. Oh, good 1-2 from Leon. Good 3-2 from Leon. That cross landed. See how he does that leaping in knee? It's not even a knee really, it's like a fake teep. But it helps him get that pressure going, get his opponent backward. And he throws a lot of those lead high kicks, non-telegraphed. And there's the crescent kick, which ends up getting caught. And another elbow he lands on Leon. And another elbow he lands on Leon. Twice. One. Oh, and did Leon land that left hand? Because Belal lands that. I think they both connected. Misses that kick. And on to the next round. Fuck. Yeah, see, the fight was just getting started, man. That's very unfortunate. The fight was just getting started, and then the eye poke happens. They were both making their reads. You see what I mean? So it's it's not as telling as we would like the fight to be, right? It didn't play out. A lot of people were saying Leon was winning, but it was a close first round. It wasn't like a blowout by any means. Now, getting into Leon Edwards' keys to victory based off of those 3 fights, right? Going into this fight with Belal Muhammad. Man, Leon Edwards, in order to win this fight, he's gonna have to counteract that pressure, right? And some of the ways he could do that, yes, switching stances has worked for him. Like against Colby Covington it worked, even against Usman it worked, but that he wasn't garnering or fending off the pressure with the switching stances. He was more making them think and hesitate, right? Same thing as he does with his feints. I think what more slows down the pressure of his opponents is him kicking the legs, using the side kicks to the knee, the oblique kicks to the knees as well. Those are all big keys to victory. So for the first key to victory, I would have to say is for Leon Edwards to kick the leg of Belal Muhammad. Not only will that help to slow down the pressure and to damage the lead leg of Belal Muhammad and probably ruin some of the wrestling attempts, since wrestlers rely on their lead leg a lot for their shots, but it'll also work to set up the head kick. And following along that whole principle of setting up the head kick, his second key to victory would have to be to attack the body as well of Belal Muhammad. Belal is known for his gas tank, and the best way to attack that gas tank is to attack the body, get him thinking with all the stance switches and everything, right? Not only have mental fatigue, but physical fatigue as well. And not only will he be attacking the legs and the body, but doing both of those will help to set up the head kicks as well of Leon Edwards, which everyone knows is coming, so you kind of have to set it up, right? And lastly, but definitely not least, Leon Edwards needs to mix in the elbows as well. Not only will this help in close range when Belal Muhammad tries to close the distance very fast, step in elbows like this to slice up his opponent, to cause blood to bleed into the eyes and cause these nasty different cuts. Elbowing off the brakes would be key for Leon Edwards as well. Using his elbows in this fight, I think, are paramount. Same thing with the knees. Both of those will be paramount in this fight, I think, because it is going to take place at a closer range. Belal Muhammad is going to be putting on that pressure. So, yeah, both of those things are needed. And those are my keys to victory for Leon Edwards. Now, getting into the fights with Belal Muhammad, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter analysis since we kind of already analyzed Belal Muhammad with the Leon Edwards fight a little bit. But getting into Belal Muhammad's film study and his keys to victory as well, I think first it's very important to watch his fight with Stephen Thompson, because in this fight, this is someone he has to pressure. Look how much pressure he's already putting on Stephen. Immediately goes for the shot, kind of like how Usman did to Leon, right? Immediately goes for the shot, goes for a high crotch. Stephen does a good job reversing it and landing a couple of shots. Stephen Thompson's so quick, closing the distance, very accurate, kind of like Leon Edwards. I wouldn't say Leon's as good of a striker as Stephen Thompson, but Belal was able to just, he threw that cross into that left hook, listen into the range. That's a lot of patient pressure from Belal. There he goes, using that lead leg again. Blocks the high kick. And bang. This is what Kamaru Usman didn't do. A lead hook. Stephen Thompson circles off, as he should be doing, right? With his hands up high, but the lead hook's just to get his hands high before shooting a deep double leg. Getting him against the cage, getting his hands connected, getting that knee, winning the battle of the hips and the knees right here, pinching the knees on the leg, having higher hips than Stephen Thompson, and now he's able to go to work. And this, I think, was a better display than his fight against Gilbert Burns, which happened most recent, but Gilbert Burns also has better grappling than Stephen Thompson. But look at the way he's able to control him, do damage. Stephen's still trying to fight back. He tries to wizard very hard. Belal starts counteracting it with hip pressure. Starts using that body lock. Stephen's able to get up, but immediately Belal starts pressing him back into the cage with these double unders, looking for trips. Good reversal by Stephen Thompson, and now they're in the fight. They've both taken some deep breaths. Belal's really good in these clinch situations, man, especially cage grappling wise. He's very good in these situations. And he's also been working a lot with Habib and Islam in that camp. He did a lot of work for them, I know, with that Brady fight. Look at this, right back on a single, runs the pipe, lifts the leg, back to a double, back to a body lock on Stephen Thompson, who has very strong legs and has been very hard to take down in his career. Look at the pressure he's using. There's a good frame right here by Stephen Thompson to try and keep his head from controlling him. If it was down the center, it would be very tough for Stephen to stay upright like this, but because his head is off to the side, it's easier for Stephen Thompson to stay upright. Stephen has a little cage grab that nobody really saw right here. You see him, he's really tugging on that cage too to be able to stand up, but Belal stays sticky, trying to take his back. And this is the pressure, I mean, this is fucking pressure. This is grappling pressure. Gets underneath him, gets ready to lift, and brings him back down, takes his back. And this is not good for Stephen Thompson. Flattens him out. Oh, this is terrible. This is pressure. This is not what Leon would want to be. We saw multiple times that Kamaru almost had a back take on him. And right now it's looking like Belal Muhammad has better back takes than Kamaru Usman. We've never really seen Kamaru on anybody's back, like putting hooks in and things like that. He more takes a wrestler's approach, while Belal Muhammad mixes in a little bit more jiu-jitsu into his grappling. Now, moving forward into the second round, I want you to pay attention to something. So right now, Stephen Thompson's going southpaw, and Belal Muhammad's having a hard time finding any real entries. He's worried about that lead leg of Stephen. He's being very patient. Blocks that high kick. As soon as Stephen Thompson switches orthodox, now Belal's putting on pressure. He's ready to use that jab. And now he's more patient. Stephen has access to that cross like we talked about before because it's in southpaw. He's trying to get a hold of him, but it's harder because he's going against an open stance. And now he's orthodox, Stephen's orthodox, and Belal's able to shoot access to that lead leg and take him down. Looks to control the hands, get hip height, drive to stand up by Stephen Thompson. Belal's looking to lift, he's able to. Oh, nice, into an ankle pick. Beautiful wrestling from Belal. That's high level shit, dude. That's high level shit. And now pressure is able to ground Stephen Thompson. Looks for his attacks. He's able to stay on top of him for the rest of the round. Now, in this one, he knows Stephen's already kind of tired. Stephen does come out in southpaw, but look how he immediately, even from the glove touch, right? Immediately puts the pressure on him. Glove touch and immediately steps on his foot. You see that? As soon as Stephen starts throwing, he just goes and grabs the body lock. That's a vet move. Tries the wizard kick. Can't get it. Belal looks to high crotch, goes to the double. He's switching, constantly changing takedowns. But this takes energy, but it's the fact that he has the cardio and the heart to do this, mixed in with the wrestling technique. Look how high he lifts that leg, gets back down to the takedown, turns his back to the mat. Beautiful wrestling, beautiful jiu-jitsu from Belal Muhammad. This is something he can do to Leon Edwards. This is where the threat is, right? And he ends up doing this for the rest of the round, right? Moving on to the next fight, his fight with Sean Brady. So we saw how good his scratching is, right? This
and pressure
is gonna show us how good his striking is.
Brady switching up the footwork early.
The switch stance is a little
you
bit
go high like you run 1,000 miles.
It's higher now than when I ran 9 miles the other day.
Well, and if you are wondering why, former training partner Sean Brady and Billy, of course, Belal Muhammad in the Ruthless Sport days in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, we said
training partners.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Good
There's no heel hooks allowed.
no, yeah, we said that when these guys were walking. Paul Felder,
That's
Good connection
personally, the
there by
boat.
Brady. Champ.
As Brady's looking pretty sharp on his feet right now.
Yeah, taking his time. Belal trying to really pressure him right now. Can overwhelm you with just non-stop combination.
Well, Belal usually does his best work is in the wrestling though. When Belal can mix everything together, is what makes him special. It would seem to make for a much tougher fight.
Confidence never an issue for Belal Muhammad, who eats a right hand there, but he certainly has had it heightened by the last 5 weeks spent in Dukshev.
Hey, Belal ate both of those shots. He took that left hook and the right hand.
He doesn't switch it. He just whips it up after his punch combination. Interesting that Sean hasn't shot yet.
There it is. A level change from Brady. I was wondering who would be the first.
Certainly an encouraging sign for Team Muhammad. Lewis Taylor, his right-hand man, sheeping the corner as usual.
Nice left hook there by Brady.
Brady really flirting with both stances here tonight, as we expected. Brady realizing some success with the striking early. Muhammad lands over the top and a counter from Sean.
He does like to counter strike. That is where he does his best work. He sits back, but right now Belal's starting to find his rhythm just a bit here.
Yeah,
getting some shots through.
That was a great combination there by Belal Muhammad. Ended it with a left uppercut up the middle.
Good stick there by Muhammad.
First 4 minutes, he's been on his heels. Oh,
Man, Belal's got a chin, doesn't he?
yeah.
That right hand from Brady, maybe the most significant strike of the fight thus far. Now Muhammad lands a right.
Hey, listen, both these guys, such grapplers, but if Belal can keep it on the feet, I mean, this could end up being a back-and-forth striking battle between these two.
And it would be so fun.
Muhammad really starting to find the range from swelling under that left eye of Brady. Big connection now by Brady. And Muhammad to the body, back and forth.
Belal is putting a lot of pressure on him.
That is discouraging for a guy like Sean Brady.
And I don't know if this is based on maybe a lack of respect for the power of Sean Brady. He's landed a few big shots on Belal.
And that left hand he just partially landed caused a cut to open up on Muhammad.
Big pressure here from Belal. Crowd going nuts.
So much support.
They want him to go forward, pressure him, because they're banking on round 3, Sean Brady being so fatigued that Belal can really take it to him. But they said be aware of the right hand of Brady because he landed a couple of them in that round.
It's a tough round. I mean, Sean came on really strong, landed some really good shots, but like we talked about, Belal really ended it strong.
Interesting to see the live number flip, but a lot of the scorecards you saw out there on social media had Brady 10-9 round 1.
And you see Brady level changing and Belal just kind of defending those takedowns. Even though that's not landing, it's still good to give the option. And I would like to see Muhammad do the same thing. Level change at the leg, give him the idea that the takedowns may come.
Just missed with that front kick.
At the end of the round was just be too much of a man for him.
Edwards should throw knees.
Has been able to land that repeatedly tonight.
Look at this. Look at his herky jerky style. Down. That's opportunity for me. That's another one.
Belal's got to get back on the pressure. He's got to try to big dog Brady.
Because
I feel like that's what he did at the...
That's another one. Because all of his entries start with that motion, those are all opportunities for knees. Not only is he looking to shoot, but he's also looking to put power behind his overhands, look to level change into that 1-1-2 that he likes so much.
The end of the round was just be too much of a man for him, and that had Brady on his heels. He's got to move forward into him if he wants to keep up with Brady, because when they're at range and they're kind of just picking at each other, Sean Brady's a much more technical strike. When they're at range and they're kind of just picking at each other, Sean Brady's a much more technical strike.
It's a nice 1-2 from Brady.
Sean starting to leak. Which, as we know when we talked about him in the fighter meetings, he's had issues with his nose for most of his career.
Google nose station does not sound pleasant. Jab is there for Muhammad. You're not going to out cardio. But
this is what I mean. Muhammad got to go forward and keep getting his hands on Brady.
This is good for Belal, pressuring like this. And you know what? For Sean being young in his career too, this is good for him. He hasn't been in one of these kind of stand-up battles where he's had to dig deep, and that's where he saw, okay, this is where I'm going to have my opportunities.
That's a big left hook there from Brady that appeared to get Muhammad's attention. A lot of fans felt like we might get a striking fight, just given the wrestling and grappling credentials of these guys. Muhammad's takedown defense has held up thus far. Brady unofficially 0 for 4.
The Muhammad corner wanted Belal to finish his combinations with uppercuts up the middle.
Brady throws.
And I'm sure Belal knows that. I'm sure he's heard these rumors.
Both guys landing significant strikes in that exchange.
He's getting hit, but he's staying underneath himself, so it's not too bad. Not overextending himself.
Belal's pressure looks crazy. But Sean Brady is landing a lot of counter strikes in the middle of the advancement of Belal Muhammad. But you expected this, right? When this fight was announced, we knew that these guys would be very evenly matched.
Especially if it was going to be this kind of fight, DC. Yes. I do feel that if they go tit for tat on the ground.
It's another right hand. There's that one. He's got to get out of there. Belal's really putting it on.
He's coming off. Cut again. Oh,
He's got a jab and a right hand.
Brady's not defending himself.
Massive right hand from Muhammad.
Brady on the ropes. Uppercut again to discourage it.
Less than 20 seconds to go in the round. Oh, that'll do. Undefeated. No more.
Just like that, man. You saw the pressure with his striking. We've seen the pressure with his grappling. Now getting into his keys to victory, going against Leon Edwards. Man, right away, we have to say that he has to be true to his style. And in doing that, his first key to victory is going to be applying his pressure, right? He has to apply that suffocating pressure, right? Stay patient, I would say, the first 2 rounds. Because Leon is very snappy. He can hurt you with big shots early. But he would have to apply patient pressure in the first 2 rounds, but get in more and more pressure each round as it goes on, right, to suffocate him. Second key to victory, I would say to time the takedowns off of the switch stance. Leon does switch stances, right? It would be good for Belal to grapple early to get a lot of that steam off of his strikes. He could do that by timing the times where he's switching stances. A lot of times it's when he's doing lateral movement up against the cage, trying to get his back off the cage, where Leon does switch stances, right? He'll throw maybe like a body kick, switch stances, look for the side kicks to the knee or whatever, or he'll try and move side to side. Those are the times where Belal would be good to just shoot a double leg drive into the cage and look for his like low level trips, right? So time the takedowns off of the stance switches, not only that, but off of the pressure as well. It's hard to really shoot takedowns going backwards, right? The best person who ever did that was George St. Pierre, but that's because he timed, beautiful double leg takedowns, and he also had a really, really good jab. Now, we've seen Belal Muhammad have good footwork going backwards. We know he could protect himself against a guy like Vicente Luque. We know he can time takedowns like he did against Stephen Thompson. We know he has relentless pressure, both in striking and grappling, good cardio. Leon Edwards is saying that he's not Khabib, he's Belal Muhammad, but he has a lot of similar traits to Khabib Nurmagomedov in that way. And the third key to victory I have for Belal Muhammad, in order for him to win this fight, another avenue he needs to be successful in, has to be dirty fighting, which means getting into the clinch, throwing the knees to the legs, all that dirty shit. Knees to the body, elbows off of the break, keeping it in the clinch, dirty boxing on the inside, mixing it into his takedowns and using all the nasty shit. Elbows, trying to break his orbital bone, trying to break his nose, making it really nasty, man. That's where, if Belal Muhammad can do that, we might see Leon Edwards, who doesn't finish a Kamaru Usman in the 5th round. A Leon Edwards who goes that whole fight kind of getting broken up and gets finished. Or Leon Edwards who kind of gets broken up and just survives all the way till a decision, because we know Belal Muhammad's really good at winning on the scorecards as well. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a fight. It's a very close fight. These are the two best welterweights in the world, in my opinion, right now. This is the fight that should have happened within the last year, but it's now happening now. However, for official prediction, I've been calling for Belal Muhammad to get this title shot, by the way, because I think that this is the fight that needed to happen. Official prediction, though, based off of those keys to victory, I can see both of them winning. I really can. But I'm gonna have to lean a little bit more towards Leon Edwards. Now, I don't think it should be 80% or 20% like I've seen on a lot of polls or anything like that. I wouldn't be surprised if Belal Muhammad goes out there and does exactly what he's saying he's gonna do, beats Leon up and just brutalizes him, because that's the way he's gonna win. He's not just gonna like knock him out, one punch knockout, right? That's the way he is gonna win if he does win. But I think Leon's just so good everywhere, man. His striking is phenomenal. Sure, there's times where he gets caught, like in the Nate Diaz fight and things like that, but you're gonna get caught being a striker and wanting to strike, right? His striking is so good. He's getting better from both stances. He's mixing in a lot more traditional strikes, like the side kicks and oblique kicks to the knees. I want to see him mix in more elbows, just like standing elbows, not necessarily off of the clinch. But I think if he could put together the keys to victory that I just named for you, beat up Belal's legs and his body, it'll set him up for a real good chance at beating Belal Muhammad, especially if he could get Belal on his back, because we haven't seen Belal Muhammad really have to fight off his back. He has really good takedown defense, but off of his back, I don't know how good he is. And Leon Edwards is really good on top. He's really good in the wrestling exchanges. I think if he can put together a similar game plan like how he did with Colby Covington, mixed in with that third Kamaru Usman fight, that we could see another victorious outing from Leon Edwards. But guys, that's my official prediction for UFC 304 main event, Belal Muhammad versus Leon Edwards 2. Let me know your predictions and your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know how you like this breakdown as well. Hopefully y'all enjoy my hard work. If y'all want to support the content, give this video a thumbs up. Leave your thoughts down below, and of course subscribe to join the family. Don't forget to check out my podcast, The Will versus the Way. We have a lot more great interviews and things like that coming. And with that being said, thank you guys for stopping by my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.